I often have to juggle between multiple teams. So here are some tips from my side which you can use to manage your time effectively. So these two tricks have ensured that I usually end up finishing around 90% of my tasks in a given day. Right from when I was a student, I have been fascinated by how we can manage time effectively to achieve our true potential. Today, as a co-founder and trainer at Edyst, I often have to juggle between multiple teams: design, marketing, sales, technology, and also have to make out time to teach more than 10,000 students yearly. So here are some tips from my side which you can use to manage your time effectively. The number one tip is focus. The best way to start managing time is to realize that you have limited hours in a day. Also, there is no way that you will end up doing everything that you want to do. So before you start managing, the first thing you need to do is to prioritize your tasks. This brings me to a very famous tool called the Eisenhower matrix. Now don't worry, it sounds complicated, but it's super simple. Let me show you. In this tool, we take each task that we need to do and mark it on two parameters or two bases. The two bases are importance and urgency. So you take a task and ask a question: is it important or not important? And then you ask a question: is it urgent or not urgent? Using this method, you will end up with 4 categories for each task. The first category would be important and urgent. Then the next one would be important and not urgent, not important and urgent, and not important and not urgent. The first category, that is important and urgent, are the most burning needs. It could be that lab assignment that you need to do, or the job application that is due in the next 2 hours. The second category, important and not urgent, these are more long-term in nature. For example, the studying that you need to do today for an exam that is probably 6 months later. You still need to do it today, but it's not urgently pending, let's say for tomorrow or today. The third category, not important but still urgent. These are usually smaller tasks that are not so important ultimately. Things like paying off your bills or running errands. They're urgent but not really important in the grand scheme of things. And the fourth category, that is not important and not urgent, are usually tasks that can be completely avoided altogether. Things like browsing social media or watching that new anime that has come out. The trick is to optimize your weekly routine such that you are focusing on the second category, that is the long-term goals. The more you focus on the long term, the lesser your short-term distractions will be, whether they're important or not important. Obviously, it's not practical to completely avoid the short term, but still your goal is to minimize the short term so that you can focus on the long term. Once you've divided your tasks, the next step is to create a to-do list for the day. Now, when creating the to-do list, try your best not to include any not important tasks. Now, there are many ways to optimize your list. I'll tell you 2 tricks that have helped me the most. Number 1 is time estimation. That is, when you write your list, always estimate the amount of time a task will take. And then number 2, always budget less time for the day. For example, say you can do 8 hours of work daily. Make sure that you fill up only 6 hours worth of tasks, because you don't know what you don't know. Meaning that there could be a sudden new task and you don't want to be without any spare time to do that. Something just comes up, something that you weren't aware of, a certain job application or a certain assignment that's come up. You don't want to then push off some of the tasks that you'd already planned. So make sure you have some buffer time of like 2 or 2.5 hours every day. So these 2 tricks have ensured that I usually end up finishing around 90% of my tasks in a given day, and I'm still practicing. Hopefully I'll get to 100% soon as well. I hope you liked these tips of the Eisenhower matrix, the to-do list, and the budgeting time. There are many more techniques to productivity, and I'd be happy to share them with you in another video. Let me know in the comments if you like this video, and we can add even more of those tips for you. And if you want us to cover other topics, do let us know in the comments as well. See you all later, and wishing you a very productive day. Thanks so much.